Well, my goodness, it is very strange indeed how things tend to work themselves out. There's a word, it's called karma. It's karma. Of course, the other night, there was a Connecticut Sun-Indiana Fever game.
What goes around really does come around. And Marina Mabrey just learned that lesson the hard way after landing a dirty hit on Caitlin Clark. The kind of move that should have earned her an ejection. Mabry strutted around like she was untouchable. The refs gave her nothing more than a soft warning. The WNBA upgraded it after the game. And Mabry even bragged on TikTok that the whole situation was making her money. But just 3 days later, Paige Bueckers delivered the justice the refs didn't, handing Mabry a cold dose of instant karma. Was it fate or coincidence? You decide.
J.C. Sheldon viciously poked Caitlin Clark in the eye, and as she was reeling from that, Marina Mabrey came in with the Kennedy Carter body slam, heard around the world, just slammed into the side of Caitlin Clark and sent her viciously flying to the floor.
The second Mabry blindsided Caitlin Clark. The entire arena felt the shift. This wasn't a normal hard foul in the flow of play. It was a full-speed, targeted shot, coming right after J.C. Sheldon had already caught Clark with an eye poke. Mabry didn't stumble into it. She saw Clark's frustration and made the choice to escalate, doubling down. At that moment, it stopped being about basketball.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it.
All they had to do was just eject her. All they had to do was eject her, and none of this happens. If the referees had ejected Marina Mabrey, nothing else happens. The Sophie Cunningham situation does not happen.
Let's be honest. Mabry wasn't defending. She barreled into Caitlin Clark like she was lining up for a football tackle. Clark was blindsided, sent flying, her face showing pure shock. Fans erupted in outrage, pointing at the replays in disbelief, while commentators didn't hesitate to call it exactly what it was. Not physical basketball, not toughness.
Of course, many of you were like, can we ban her? I said I thought she ought to get 10 games for the incident, really and truly. And part of that is, simply put, send the rest of the league a message. The WNBA missed an opportunity to take that. By the way, referees completely bleeped that whole thing up. I mean, they effed it up royally, right? And then after the fact, they came back and said, oh yeah, it's a flagrant 2. You don't say. You don't say. Kathy Engelbert, get some real referees and fire every one of them.
And somehow, the officials still got it wrong. They reviewed the play, saw it clearly, and decided Mabry only deserved a technical foul. To make matters worse, they also gave Clark a tech for pushing back after being poked in the eye. The victim got punished. Fever coach Stephanie White was furious. She said she warned the refs in the first quarter this was coming. She wasn't wrong. Afterward, the WNBA upgraded Mabry's foul to a flagrant, basically admitting the refs blew it.
So Caitlin Clark gets poked in the eye. Marina Mabrey doesn't even see what happens, and she just decides to clean Caitlin Clark out of it. And the referees just said, nah, it was not worth an injection. So Caitlin dribbles. Look at how far she is away from the ball, by the way. Look at how far she is away from the ball. Like, that's literally, she's nowhere near the ball. She just jumps at her face. And then she belly bumps Caitlin. Caitlin retaliates by shoving in an unsportsmanlike manner, according to the referees. And then Marina Mabrey just comes from nowhere.
And Mabry didn't stop there. She doubled down. Just hours later, she jumped on TikTok, bragging and saying, every time they comment, I make dollars. She openly celebrated taking down Caitlin Clark and skating away without consequences. To Mabry, this wasn't shameful. It was a business move. She thought she had beaten.
But Marina Mabrey commented on TikTok about the whole situation, and this is what she said. Every time they comment, I make dollars.
But karma doesn't forget. While Mabry was cashing in on clicks and the WNBA scrambled to save face, the Fever were quietly taking notes. If the refs wouldn't protect Caitlin Clark, they would. Sophie Cunningham had that cold, unshakable stare. The kind that promises a receipt will be delivered, as the Fever closed out their 88-71 blowout. Sophie wasn't celebrating. She was planning, and J.C. Sheldon.
Can't keep my hands to myself. I mean, I could, but why would I want to?
Mabrey. That's a flagrant foul.
This was the most beast mode thing that I've seen a woman do in WNBA history.
This wasn't about lashing out emotionally. It was calculated. Sophie Cunningham saw her chance and took it. She wrapped up J.C. Sheldon and slammed her to the floor with a flagrant 2 foul the refs couldn't ignore. Sheldon hit the hardwood hard, exactly as intended. Sophie was tossed immediately, but she didn't care. Getting ejected wasn't a mistake. It was the point. She came to send a message, and the league got it loud.
The Indiana Fever fans were chanting, "Sophie, Sophie." Sophie's jersey is gonna sell out tonight. She's gonna be in the All-Star game tonight just from this one play because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle and I don't think anybody wanted that.
The fans understood instantly. Fever supporters roared in approval, giving Sophie a standing ovation as she walked off like a hero. Social media lit up too, praising her toughness and loyalty. Some even joked she deserved an all-star spot for protecting Caitlin Clark. This was a turning point for Indiana. The message was clear. If you target Caitlin, expect payback.
It was, to me, payback for what was happening the entire game. But she did it in a way that she wasn't gonna injure JC, she was just making it known, like, if the refs aren't gonna handle it, I will handle it. We'll take care of it, but this is not what you're going to do when you come into our house. It was an intentional foul, it was a hard foul. She brought her down. But with that, you guys, JC Sheldon got up and she was ready to go. So as you guys can see in this video, a whole scuffle breaks out. Sophie and JC are going after it. Both teams are running over, trying to break it up. It kind of goes into the fan section a little bit.
Cunningham's statement shook the league, but karma wasn't done. Sophie handled Sheldon, but Mabberry? She was still online, gloating, profiting from her cheap shot, acting untouchable. But 3 days later, Paige Bueckers and the Dallas Wings delivered the justice Mabberry thought she...
Well, something happened last night during the game. All right, Mabberry was trying to guard Paige Bueckers, and all of a sudden the winds of karma came blowing through the arena.
3 days after decking Caitlin Clark, Mabberry got humbled. Facing the Dallas Wings, Paige Bueckers hit her with one of the coldest moves of the season. Mabberry came in buzzing with confidence, still feeding off her TikTok stunt. When Paige brought the ball up the floor, Mabberry stepped into guard, expecting a routine possession. But Paige had something else in mind. Interview 11. No trash talk, no drama, just pure basketball justice. Paige gave a slick hesitation, then unleashed a brutal crossover that froze Mabberry in place. Her ankles buckled. She collapsed, clutching her knee, while the arena exploded. Bueckers didn't celebrate. She didn't smirk. She simply walked away like it was nothing. That silence, that calm, made the message louder than words ever could.
This is last night, folks.
Off the floor. Let's take
right
a look
here,
and see
you see
what
Marina
led to this
being escorted off the
shakeup.
floor. That's right. And this was the only thing I could find. But here, you're going to see it. Watch her ankle.
Oh.
I mean, Paige Bueckers
Just
puts a
kinda
move on
glanced
her,
wrong
and
hyperextended a
it,
little bit.
broke her ankle. And it may have literally
She's going
broke
straight
her
back into the
ankle.
locker room.
Heading down the tunnel right now.
But that was
Bueckers has
it.
that handled.
That was it.
to
That was
this-
literally the move.
The internet lit up instantly. The same Mabberry who had bragged about making money off Clark was now being helped off the court, humbled. The irony was undeniable. Paige didn't need a dirty play. She didn't need a foul. Her skill did the talking, and the punishment fit perfectly. The refs failed to hold Mabberry accountable, but the game itself stepped in. Interview 13. And to top it off, Dallas pulled off the upset of the week, beating the heavily favored Connecticut Sun 86-83. This wasn't just a win on the scoreboard. It was like a story basketball itself had written. Connecticut came in expecting to bully Dallas the same way they bullied Indiana. Instead, they were dismantled, possession by possession.
One more time so you can see it. One more time right there. I mean, oh boy. And that may have been all she wrote. And a lot of people today are like, well, karma may have just come a calling. All right, this is last night right here. This is Mabberry being escorted. She's going to be escorted right here. You can see that. To the locker room.
Paige Bueckers orchestrated the whole thing like a maestro. Every time Connecticut tried to trap her, she sliced them up with passes or drained jumpers in their faces. The Suns' defense collapsed, and Mabrey, slowed by her knee, turned into the weak link. She couldn't move at full speed, and Dallas attacked her nonstop. The same player who tried to intimidate Caitlin Clark now looked helpless, just trying to stay upright.
Generally speaking, is it bad policy to celebrate anybody getting injured? Yeah, I'm not sure a lot of people are just blatantly celebrating this. But you can be damn sure a lot of people went, oh, how about that? The WNBA did not have the guts to suspend her. So the winds of karma, she's a cold blistering bitch that comes rolling through from time to time on people. The winds of karma came a calling on Marina Mabrey last night against Paige Bueckers.
In the post-game presser, Connecticut's players blamed execution, timing, and missed chances. But anyone watching knew the truth. The Sun lost focus. They spent too much energy this season trying to intimidate and forgot how to finish. Karma got them too. Mabrey thought her foul on Clark made her untouchable. 3 days later, she limped off after Paige Bueckers reminded her what real basketball looks like.
I mean, we don't know how bad that ankle injury is or anything like that. We don't know if she's going to miss any time. But it's funny how the world works. You know, it's strange how the world works. You sometimes you just do bad onto somebody else. The winds come blowing back in your direction at some point.
This whole saga proves something undeniable. If the officials will enforce fairness, basketball itself will. Mabrey thought she could foul Caitlin Clark, laugh it off, and keep winning. But the game has a way of evening the score. Sophie Cunningham's fearless defense of Clark set the tone. Paige Bueckers' crossover sealed it. Together, they created something bigger than highlights or wins. They built a culture of protection and respect that will follow Caitlin Clark into 2025 and beyond.